I can bring you in warm. You know the rest. How to improve the bounty hunting experience in Starfield with mods. Hello everyone, this is Richard. Welcome to Starfield Essentials. Since my last video on bounty hunting, I've made a few changes to my ship design and bounty taking processes. I'm using the excellent Nonlethal framework and useful Brigs mods by Korodic. If you're having trouble bringing them in warm, and you want to bring a lot of them in, this video should help. Let's talk about ship design first. If you don't want to use ship mods, I recommend adding one or more Tayo or Hopetech 2x1 armories to your existing design. Here I added two 2x1 Tayo armories to my Wolf-class ship. This gave me a total of 4 beds for prisoners. Remember that the Tayo and Hopetech armories are actually armories and brigs in a 2x1 form factor. An alternative is to use a dedicated 2x2 brig hab, as shown here with my Relentless bounty hunting ship. A single 2x2 brig hab holds 4 prisoners. The problem with these designs, however, is that they take up a lot of space. If you're comfortable using ship mods, I recommend trying the Habz mod by Robboten. That's H-A-B-Z. These are 1x1 habs that pack a lot of functionality into a small space. For example, the 1x1 Hopetech and Tayo brigs have 4 prisoner beds. That means 2 of these habs, if positioned correctly, can hold 8 prisoners. That's 4 times as much capacity as a single Tayo or Hopetech armory. If you use 4 of these habs, that's 16 prisoner beds. That's also 4 times as much capacity as a single dedicated 2x2 brig hab. The problem with these specialized 1x1 habs is door placement. If you are not careful about door placement, you will lose one of the walls and thereby only have 2 prisoner beds, or so it seems. There's still an improvement over the stock 2x1 armory, which also has 2 beds. I encountered some glitching when adding these 1x1 habs to my Wolf-class ship. I was able to partially clear them by re-entering the ship builder and making minor changes, such as painting part of the ship. At other times, it appeared as though the prisoner bed was simply invisible, even though I had opened a door to the hab. Lining up these 1x1 brig habs in a single bow to stern line might be the best way to maximize space. For testing purposes, I also tried stacking them vertically. This vertical stack works fine. It's a little cramped, but the door computers are still accessible. Remember that we used the useful Brigs mod to make these cells be visible to the game as places to hold prisoners. If you decide to use the Habz mod, you must also install the useful Brigs Habz patch. Without this patch, you'll have a ship full of non-functional cells. I have a lot of prisoners in my ship. I capture them by raiding POI and subduing as many enemies as possible. This brings me to my second set of tips for bringing them in warm. In my last video, I used the Shades Immersive Looting mod, which was recommended by the useful Brigs mod as a soft dependency. Basically, you need a mod which allows you to interact with an NPC and expose a Send to Brig option. For this video, I uninstalled Shades Immersive Looting and hoped that I could use functionality in other mods to have the Send to Brig option. My standard mod deployment uses SKK Stalkers and Followers by SKK Mods, The Gang's All Here by Aurelianus, and Loot Everything by Frosty Worm 98. It seems you should be able to interact with an incapacitated NPC to send them to the brig, but I've never gotten that to work. Instead, I have to use this process, which is a bit tricky. First, you have to bash the incapacitated NPC to get a Send to Brig option. Note that you cannot bash them while combat is active. Useful Brigs does not allow sending to a brig during combat. Next, you have to get the timing just right. If you don't, the NPC will wake up and fight you. Then you have to incapacitate them with an EM weapon again, wait for combat to cool down, and start over. On creations, there is a useful Brigs Send to Brig No Combat check mod. Apparently this will disable the requirement to be at peace before sending an NPC to the brig. This is not yet on Nexus mods. I did try the creations version, but I could not get it to work. So, the current process can be a bit delicate, but you can succeed with some patience. I also verified that you can turn in prisoners to Akila City security. In another scenario, I encountered a survivalist who was looting a UC Marine corpse.
Right there, friend.
I didn't like that,
This is mine.
so I took advantage of the attack option.
Oh yeah?
Thankfully, none of my companions cared. I was able to incapacitate the survivalist and send her to the brig. However, I was not able to turn her into Akila City or UC security. I don't think they accept civilian prisoners. You do have the option to turn in prisoners to the Crimson Fleet. I believe that they accept random civilians. This seems cruel, and I did not try it. You have to be a member of the fleet for it to work at all. I got a little creative with my turn-in process. Using the SKK Stalkers and Followers mod, I used the recruit function to add an Akila City security officer to my crew. I then did some missions with this officer in my party. I took prisoners and then turned them into the officer on the spot. This is very efficient and avoids having to fast travel to Akila City or a New Atlantis. Note that recruiting an NPC in this manner can produce some odd results.
Even the Rangers have been impressed.
You
with
must
how much
also
human
keep this
garbage we've
NPC
taken.
alive through combat scenarios. At least once I had to use a console command to resurrect my Akila
so?
guard. I tried to set the essential variable for them and thereby protect them, but I could not find the correct reference ID. Finally, if you are going on a raid to capture prisoners, equip your companions with electromagnetic weapons, like Nova Blast disruptors. Otherwise, they are likely to kill your targets. What is your experience with bounty hunting? Are you having success with these mods? Let us know in a comment below. If you made it to this part of the video, let me know by leaving a comment with the phrase, "Put Captain Solo in the cargo hold." If you enjoy this content, please feel free to like and subscribe. Also, remember to ring the bell icon and select all notifications to show that you're a simple person trying to make your way in the universe. Check out my other Starfield videos if you like this sort of play, especially my videos on bounty hunting. My name is Richard. I will see you in the Starfield.
Hayden!